Hello everyone, welcome all of you. I am Krishna Singh Rajput, and in the series of great previous years, I will be solving all the problems came till now in the gate. So the question which I have taken today is from sensors and industrial instrumentation, and the question was asked from inductive sensors LVDT. And before I proceed with the question, I would like to tell you that I have already made a detailed video on concept of LVDT. If you have watched it, then well and good, and if you have not watched it, I'll provide the link in the description below. You can go there and see that, so that you will have the complete understanding that how actually LVDT is going to work on the concept of mutual inductance. So why I am telling that, because here in the question there are mentioned self inductances as well. So to make yourself clear with the concept that these self inductance are not going to play in the problem solving, so you have to understand first that the self inductance are not going to play any role. Only mutual inductance part we are going to discuss here. So these things might confuse if you see a diagram in the question paper. So the question given was that there is one primary winding which is given as LP, and there are two secondary windings, and their self inductance was LS1 and LS2, and the mutual inductance of coil 1 is given as M1, and the mutual inductance of coil 2 is taken as M2. And it is given that when there is no displacement, so I am taking this particular point as x equal to 0, and also it is mentioned in the question itself that upward displacement is taken as positive s, and the downward displacement of core is going to be taken as negative x. So when there is no displacement in the null position, the mutual inductances of M1 and M2 is going to be M0, and whenever there is a displacement of either plus 10 or minus 10, so the changes in the mutual inductance is going to be 0.25. so it has not mentioned plus 0.25 and minus 0.25 because they are talking about the changes. So we have to be clear with the concept that whenever this core is moving upward, so the mutual inductance M1 is going to increase and M2 is going to decrease, and whenever this core is going to get displaced downward, so M2 is going to increase and M1 will decrease. So that's why it has mentioned as changes. So we have to take the magnitude of changes 0.25. So with that understanding, and we have to derive two expression that I'll tell. And what is his interest, that at what value of displacement d, x equal to d, magnitude of voltage V2 is going to be 1.25 times of magnitude of voltage V1, and we need not worry about the phases because it is completely talking about the magnitudes. So that's the question. So now we'll understand how we have to approach it. So first and foremost thing, for M1 and M2, it is given that they are going to vary linearly. So we have to first get the linear expression. So at x equal to 0, at this particular point, the M1 value is M0 and also M2 value is M0. And when we are taking the positive displacement x equal to 10, the M1 is going to increase by default. So it is going to be 1.25 times M0 because the change is 0.25. So initially if it is M0 plus 0.25, so it is going to become 1.25 M0, whereas the M2 at this position is going to be M0, and whenever the displacement is plus x, so M2 is going to decrease, so it will become 0.75 M0 because again the change is 0.25 M0. Initially if it is M0 minus 0.25 M0, it will become as 0.75 M0. So we have to get the expression for M1 and M2. So I have taken graphs M1 versus x and M2 versus x, and this linear expression you can just simply get by calculating, by writing the linear expression if you have 2 points over there. So this I am leaving to you. You have to get the expression for M1. M1 will come as M0 times 1 plus 0.25 x divided by 10, and M2 will come as M0 times 1 minus 0.25 x by 10, where x is going to be the displacement plus because in the question it is given as plus x in the upward direction. So x is going to be the displacement, and the dimension will be in mm. So now the final thing which students should be clear with, that the output is going to be based on the mutual conductance. So the output voltage across V1 series 1 V1 is going to be proportional to the mutual inductance 1, and the output voltage V2 is going to be proportional to the mutual inductance 2. So this is the main concept we have to make use of. So why? Because the output V1 is going to be M1 times of dIP by dt. So concept of mutual inductance is it will have the mutual inductance M1, but the current of primary coil is going to give the voltage output, and for V2 it is going to be M2 times dip by dt. So the cos for both of them is same only. So V1 and V2 is going to be proportional to M1 and M2. So that I have clearly explained in the video I was talking about. So that you can go there and check. In the other case, when displacement is taken downward, so for M1 at x equal to 0, the M1 is going to be M0, and when x equal to minus 10, the M1 is going to become, because it will change by 0.25, so it will decrease, so it will become 0.75 M0. Whereas in the case of M2 at x equal to 0, the M2 is M0, and x equal to minus 10, the M2 is going to increase, because we are taking the opposite direction. So these expression again are going to change for M1 and M2, and for M1 it will become as 1 minus 0.25 x by 10 into M0, and for M2 it will become as 1 plus 0.25 x by 10 into M0. So if we are taking the displacement in the upward direction, we are going to feel the increment in the M1 value, and if we are taking the displacement in the downward direction, we are going to feel the decrement in the M1 value, whereas M2 will increase, because the mutual inductance, if we are taking the ferromagnetic path near to the coil, so the mutual inductance is going to increase. So now it is clearly mentioned magnitude of voltage V2 is going to be 1.25 times of magnitude of voltage V1. So the magnitude of V2 is more, so the displacement is this particular case we have to take, because V2 is proportional to M2 and M2 has to be more, then only V2 will be more. So now simply applying all these equations in our formula or in our condition given, we will be able to calculate a value of displacement. So M2 is going to be 1 plus 0.25 divided by 10 x into M0. X is going to be in mm, and 1 minus 0.25 x divided by 10 into M0, and this is 1.25 times we have to take. So M0 and M0 will get cancelled. 1 plus 0.25 x by 10 is going to be equal to 1 minus 0.25 x by 10 into 1 plus 1.25. So 1 plus 0.25. Now simplification we have to do, nothing is left now. Only the concept you have to understand. Mathematics part you can do by calculator. So I am not solving it. If you solve it, you will get the answer as 4.44 mm. So you have to displace the ferromagnetic core by 4.44 mm to get the magnitude of voltage V2, 1.25 times of magnitude of voltage V1. So this was the concept, and now you might be wondering that I have taken the situation as displacement in the negative direction. So x, whatever x is coming, it should be negative, right? So the answer should be x equal to minus 4.44 mm, because the output voltage V2 is 1.25 times of V1. So the M2 is 1.25 times of M1. So the displacement should be downward, then only the M2 will increase, right? So purposefully I have solved this question wrongly first to make you understand that what actually is happening in this particular case, and how you have to be very careful about the language given in the question and also the diagram. So now I will let you know what is the actual problem, why it is not as exactly as our normal LVDT. So yeah, whatever we have done is correct in this particular case if it is a normal LVDT. Why? Where this side it is given as excitation, and we have two coils, primary coils and secondary coils, and we have the detector which is going to say E out is equal to difference of V1 minus V2. And if in that case, if it is asked like how much displacement you have to provide to the core, so that the magnitude of V2 is going to become as 1.2 times of magnitude of V1. So it is quite obvious that for V2 to be more, the displacement has to be downward. So the answer is going to come as minus 4.44 mm. But that is not exactly the scene which is given in the question. Given in the question is that first of all this V1 and V2 are not at all output. V1 and V2 are provided as the source of voltages. So, and also it is given that when there is no displacement at x equal to 0, the magnitude of V2 is provided as 1.25 times of magnitude of V1, and the question it is clearly asked as for what value of displacement at x equal to d the detector is going to give the null output. So here is the detector. So in this case we have to see the question in the reverse manner, and now in this position, if the displacement is 0, the magnitude of V2 is more, right? So here the voltage is more and here the voltage is less. But to make the detector output as 0, we have to increase the V1, whereas we have to decrease the V2. So we have to displace the core in the upward direction only, then only will be get the increment in the upward voltage and the downward voltage will decrease, because in the 0 null position at x equal to 0, it is given as magnitude of V2 is more than that of V1. So we have to increase V1 and we have to decrease the voltage V2, then only the detector is going to feel the position as null position. So I hope by these two comparison it is clear for you that the output is anyway going to come in the with the positive sign only, because this is not the case of normal LVDT. In the case of LVDT, V1 and V2 are output, but in this case V1 and V2 are given as sources, and in that case excitation is given at the primary, but here at the primary it is a detector, it's not the excitation. So you have to be very careful about it. And now if you start solving, it is simple again. Only the concept you have to understand clearly by the given question and its language, and the idea of mutual inductance is going to be same one. So we have to displace the core in the upward direction, then only we will be able to increase the voltage across the series 1 and we will able to decrease the voltage across series 2, and then only we will be able to get the null position in the detector. And the magnitude of V1 and V2, no, it's not going to be magnitude of V1 and V2, because V1 and V2 in this case they are supplies. So instead of V1 and V2 we will take them as E1 and E2, and now we have to make the magnitude of E1 and E2 is equal to 0, then only we will be able to get E difference E1 minus E2 is equal to 0. So, and also how you will be able to make sure that this particular concept is working in the series opposition condition, because the phases are given as 0 and 180 degree, because the voltage at series 1 is it is going to be directly replicated at primary coil as E1, and due to this it is going to be replicated as E2. So we have to make sure that we are going to get the output as E1 minus E2. So for that only they have mentioned the angle. So you just by seeing the configuration you don't worry that whether it is working in the opposition mode or not, because these dot conventions they says that it is just simply going to replicate as it is, but due to the phase difference this is going to be minus E2. Only magnitude we'll talk for now. So in the at x equal to 0 position, the detector is going to detect here as V0, and here it is going to detect as 1.25 V0, and let's not worry about magnitude as it is already given as 0 and minus 180 degree, sorry 180 degree. So 180 degree means negative. So in the case of displacement due to core, we are going to feel some add-on to the voltage. So that add-on has to be 1.25 times of the changes in the lower one. So 1.25 plus 1 and 1 plus 1.25. So they are going to become the same value at one particular displacement at x equal to d. And now due to the 180 degree phase difference, if detector feel the addition on this particular coil, it is going to be 0. So from this we can clearly see the changes due to the mutual inductance is going to be 1.25 times than that of the change in the secondary one. So M1 has to be 1.25 times of M2. So M1 we had derived as 1 plus 0.25 times x by d into M0 in the case of upward displacement is going to be 1.25 times of 1 minus 0.25 x divided by 10. So this is going to be the same expression we have calculated x equal to 4.44 mm. So that's the basic idea about this question. You have to be very clear whether it is given as normal LVDT or some special case is formed. So you have to be careful about that. So that's all. I hope it is clear for all of you. Still, if you have any doubt, you are free to ask in the comment section. I'll try to clarify them. Thank you.